Alaikum assalam, Ahmed. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Let's get started. Hello and welcome again to another episode of Entrepreneurs Workshop Book Review. Today we have a very special book we're going to start. It's called The 4-Hour Workweek. And the first time I started to hear about this book is from one of my biggest mentors. His name is Brandon Odom. He's really big in the industry. He's the one that actually helped me start my business. Brandon Odom, thank you very much for introducing me to this concept, the 4-Hour Workweek. And thank you, Tim Ferriss, for writing the book. Today we're going to actually, I love it when you get to go into another person's book. You basically, it's like you get into another person's mind, right? Yeah, man. It's like you get the 20 years of knowledge that they had and that they put into the book. You put that into your head. That's what the importance of reading books is, you guys. You get to get the knowledge from other people, and you get to, you get that just from reading a single book. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump in and I'm going to start sharing my screen. We're going to start reading about this guy, Tim Ferriss. Who is he? What's he all about? And why he wrote this book. Actually, this book that I have here, this is actually an abridged, it's an expanded version. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
I
have that book.
Huh?
I said I had it years ago.
That's amazing.
Yes, sir.
So escape the 9-to-5, live anywhere, join the new rich, and are expanded and updated. Timothy Ferriss, thank you very much for writing it. Let's get started reading it. Let's kind of go through a little bit about the introduction from different places of praise for the 4-Hour Workweek. This guy, Jack Canfield, if you don't know who this guy is, you should go find him out. Jack Canfield, just learning about who this guy is will 10x your life, okay? It's about time this book was written. It's a long overdue manifesto for the mobile lifestyle, and Tim Ferriss is the ideal ambassador. This will be huge, okay? Jack Canfield is the co-creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul. Over 100 million copies sold. That guy, wow! Check him out on social media. Check him out, Google him, and 10x your life. Phil Town, a New York Times best-selling author of Rule Number 1. He says, stunning and amazing from many retirements to outsourcing your life, it's all here. Whether you are a wage slave or a Fortune 500 CEO, this book will change your life. Now, keep in mind, this guy just said, outsourcing your life. I just recently started to do some of that and saw that I have some amazing news I have to share with you after this meeting regarding our business. Bro, you are going to freak out, but it's going to be awesome.
Okay.
So stay tuned. Once we finish this meeting, let's get back on another Zoom. I have to tell you about my latest strategy in the business. You are going to love it. The 4-Hour Workweek is a new way of solving a very old problem. Just how can we work to live and prevent our lives from being all about work? A world of infinite options awaits those who would read this book and be inspired by it. Oh my God, I just read only a few pages of this book and I got so inspired. I started making a new strategy in my business. This book, you guys, you have to watch it. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and make sure you watch this to the very end, because you are going to benefit so much just from introduction to this book and from following along with us every week. Here we are at the Entrepreneurs Workshop. It's a Facebook group called Entrepreneurs Workshop, no apostrophes. And make sure you share this with your friends and family, because this is literally a life changer. This is from Michael Gerber, founder and chairman of eBay Worldwide and the world's #1 small business guru. Dr. Stuart D. Friedman, advisor to Jack Welch and former Vice President Al Gore on family or work issues and director of the Work-Life Integration Program at the Wharton School, University of Pennsylvania, says, this is a whole new ball game. Highly recommend it. Timothy has packed more lives into his 29 years than Steve Jobs has in his 51. Oh, good thing Steve Jobs isn't around to hear that. But here, that's Tom Foremski, journalist and publisher of SiliconValleyWatcher.com. Mike Maples says, if you want to live life on your own terms, this is your blueprint. You guys,
wow.
You should follow this. Okay, everyone should follow this book. This guy's co-founder of Motive Communications, IPO to $260 million market cap, and founding executive of Tivoli, sold to IBM for $750 million. Thank you. Thanks to Tim Ferriss, I have more time in my life to travel, spend time with my family, and write book blurbs This is a dazzling and highly useful work. This guy, A.J. Jacobs, editor-at-large of Esquire magazine, author of the Know-It-All, this guy has changed his life just by reading this book. So that's one prime example. Tim is Indiana Jones for the digital age. I've already used his advice to go spearfishing on remote islands and ski the best hidden slopes of Argentina. Simply put, do what he says, and you can live like a millionaire. Albert Poe, derivatives specialist at UBS World Headquarters. Reading this book is like putting a few zeros onto your income. Seriously, guys. Tim brings lifestyle to a new level. Listen to him. Michael D. Carolyn, McKinsey and Company consultant to Bush Clinton Katrina Fund, and a J. William Fuller scholar, part scientist and part adventure hunter. Tim Ferriss has created a roadmap for an entirely new world. I devoured this book in one sitting. I have seen nothing like it. Charles Brock, chairman and CEO of Brock Capital Group. Oh, man, former CFO, CEO, General Counsel of Scholastic Incorporation, former president of the Harvard Law School Association. Look, guys, if all these people are saying this book is amazing, it's got to be amazing. Outsourcing.
Must be.
Outsourcing is no longer just for Fortune 500 companies. Small and mid-sized firms, as well as busy professionals, can outsource their work to increase their productivity and free time for more important commitments. It's time for the world to take advantage of this revolution. Oh my God, this is the cornerstone of this book. We're going to read this book, and you and I are going to we're going to set ourselves free.
Can I outsource taking care of my kid?
Well, you don't want to do that, man.
I'm just kidding.
Vivek Kulkarni, CEO of Brickwork India and former IT secretary of Bangalore, credited as the techno-bureaucrat who helped make Bangalore an IT destination in India. Tim is the master. I should know. I followed his rags to riches path and watched him transform himself from competitive fighter to entrepreneur. He tears apart conventional assumptions until he finds a better way. Dan Partland, Emmy Award-winning producer of American High, and welcome to the Dollhouse. The 4-Hour Workweek is an absolute necessity for those adventurous souls who want to live life to its fullest. Buy it and read it before you sacrifice any more. John Lusk, Group Product Manager at Microsoft World Headquarters. If you want to live your dreams now and not in 20 or 30 years, buy this book. Laura Roden, chairman of the Silicon Valley Association of Startup Entrepreneurs and a lecturer in corporate finance at San Jose State University. With this kind of time management and focus on the important things in life, people should be able to get 15 times as much done in a normal work week. Tim Draper, founder of Draper Fisher Jefferson, financiers to innovators, including Hotmail, Skype, and Overture.com. Last one, you guys. Tim has done what most people only dream of doing. I can't believe he is going to let his secrets out of the bag. This book is a must-read. Stephen Key, top inventor and team designer of Teddy Ruxpin and Laser Tag, and a consultant to the television show American Inventor. The 4-Hour Workweek, you guys. Woo! Escape 9 to 5. Live anywhere.
I'm really excited about it.
I know. I'm trying to hype it up because it is super duper powerful and valuable. So let's just keep going, man. Escape.
How many pages this book has?
Oh, this book. Let's see. Well,
279, including everything. Okay.
Where do you see that?
Just scroll up. Yeah, you see on top the bar that just popped up.
Oh,
in the middle.
Yeah, my Zoom bar was over it. Sorry, I couldn't see it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So 279. Let's get through as much as we can today, and we'll give ourselves a few minutes to talk. Maybe when the thing says 10 minutes left, maybe we'll give ourselves some time to talk. If we don't have anything to say, if we're shell shocked, if our mouths are wide open, we're just gonna keep reading. Okay.
Right.
Expanded and updated. Tim Ferriss. So this book is going to start a little bit by talking about how he came to writing the book, and so that's important to understand. Like the guy's mindset is tremendous. Okay. Our parents, Donald and Frances Ferriss, who told a little hellion that marching to a different drummer was a good thing. I love you both and owe you everything. Support your local teacher. 10% of all author royalties are donated to educational not-for-profits, including DonorsSchoolhouse.org content. So I'm not going to go through these things, but we're going to just jump right in. So we go to the first and foremost. Preface to the expanded and updated.
Just read the titles of each section real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure. Well, we have the preface. We're going to read that to expanded updated edition. First and foremost, FAQ. Doubters, read this. My story and why you need this book. Chronology of a pathology. Step 1, D is for definition. If you're watching Tim Ferriss on YouTube, you're going to see him go through this stuff, step 1, step 2, step 3. And I think, he'll go through these steps 4 and stuff. He'll teach this on his YouTube. You should go ahead and right now, if you're watching this, you should jump on the internet, go to YouTube, type in Tim Ferriss, subscribe to his channel. Yes, I'm giving him a shout out because this guy's worth it. Okay, it's gonna be
Right.
worth it for you to just go and do that. I've already done that. I'm already watching this guy. Go to his page, go to his Facebook stuff. Tim Ferriss is the stuff. So also, if you're a marketer or anything like that who's trying to get more people who are of like mind, you should be gathering around this guy. This guy is like the water house of or the water cooler, if you will, of marketers. This guy is really amazing. So if you want to go where more like-minded people are, go around this guy.
Also, he got a great podcast too. I just want to mention that. So informational. Yeah. He brings a lot of great people in each science.
For sure.
Yes. Okay.
I haven't actually started listening to his podcast, but I'm sure it's good. I didn't know that he has one. I just didn't get a chance to read it or start to listen to it. But I'm definitely going to start listening to it soon.
Yes. So step 1, D is for definition. Step 2 is E is for elimination. Step 3, A for automation. Step 4 is L for liberation. Wow, okay. But last not least, the best. Okay, all right.
Goes into stuff about his blog, talks about living the 4-hour work week, case studies, tips, and hacks. You guys are going to see some of the proponents of his message, people who've actually taken what he's said and they put it to practice in their lives. And literally, who says kids holding you back? I mean, who says anything's going to hold you back? Only it's the lack of action, you guys. This whole working remotely, killing your BlackBerry, Star Wars, anyone, restricted reading, the few that matter. I got bonus material, all this stuff. Let's jump in, you guys. Preface to the expanded and updated edition, okay? The 4-hour work week was turned down by 26 of 27 publishers. That guy has some perseverance, right?
Right.
After it was sold, the president of one potential marketing partner, a large bookseller, emailed me a historical bestseller statistics to make it clear this wouldn't be a mainstream success. So I did all I knew how to do. I wrote it with 2 of my closest friends in mind, speaking directly to them and their problems I long had, and I focused on the unusual options that had worked for me around the world. This guy is something else, man. You guys, I certainly tried to set conditions for making a sleeper hit possible, but I knew it wasn't likely. So that's like he tried to make this book like, something that's going to surprise the world and really become a big hit. But, he knew that the odds were against him. But he hoped for the best and planned for the worst. May 2nd, 2007. I received a call on my cell phone from my editor. Tim, you hit the list. It was just past 5 p.m. in New York City, and I was exhausted. The book had launched 5 days before, and I had just finished a series of more than 20 radio interviews in succession, beginning at 6 a.m. that morning. I never planned a book tour, preferring instead to batch radio satellite tours into 48 hours. Heather, I love you, but please don't screw with me. No, you really hit the list. Congratulations, Mr. New York Times bestselling author.
What?
I leaned against the wall and slid down until I was sitting on the floor. I closed my eyes, smiled, took a deep breath. Things were about to change. Everything was about to change. Lifestyle design from Dubai to Berlin. The 4-hour work week has now been sold into 35 languages. It's been on the bestseller list for more than 2 years, and every month brings a new story and a new discovery. From The Economist to the cover of the New York Times style section, from the streets of Dubai to the cafes of Berlin, lifestyle design has cut across cultures to become a worldwide movement. The original ideas of the book have been broken apart, improved, and tested in environments and ways I never could have imagined. So why the new edition of if things are working so well? Because I knew it could be better, and there was a missing ingredient, you. This expanded and updated edition contains more than 100 pages of new content, including the latest cutting-edge technologies, field-tested resources, and most important, real-world success stories chosen from more than 400 pages of case studies submitted by readers. Families and students, CEOs and professional vagabonds, take your pick. There should be someone whose results you can duplicate. Need a template to negotiate remote work, a paid year in Argentina perhaps? This time, it's in here. The Experiments in Lifestyle Design blog, 4hourblog.com, was launched alongside the book, and within 6 months, it became one of the top 1,000 blogs in the world out of more than 120 million. Thousands of readers have shared their own amazing tools and tricks, producing phenomenal and unexpected results. The blog became the laboratory I'd always wanted, and I encourage you to join us there. You know what? I haven't even gone to this yet. Shame on me.
4-hour blog.
Let me go ahead and add this to my repertoire, and I got to start, reading that. Okay. All right.
Perfect.
Sorry, bro.
Yes, we needed that zoom.
I have a sensitive touchpad. Okay, here we go. All right.
And try to keep the lines that you're reading to the top, because we do not see the lower version, the lower sides.
Oh, okay.
No, you see what I'm saying? When you read, keep
Sure.
the lines you're reading on top.
All right, so the blog became the laboratory. I'd always want to encourage you to join us there. Is this good? Can you see that?
Yeah, you're good. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah, as you're reading.
The new Best of the Blog section includes several of the most popular posts from the Experiments in Lifestyle Design blog. On the blog itself, you can also find recommendations from everyone from Warren Buffett. Seriously, I tracked him down and show you how I did it, to chess prodigy Josh Waitzkin, if I pronounce it correct. It's an experimental playground for those who want better results in less time, not revive. So check it out. This guy recently wrote a book. It's called Mentor or something, and he just grabbed the advice of 300 mentors in his life and compiled it in a book. And yes, I am shamelessly plugging this guy, because this guy, I am a fan of his now. Okay, just by reading a few pages of his book, it's already changed my life. Okay,
wow,
it's gonna change yours too. This is not a revised edition in the sense that the original no longer works. No, it's not like that. The typos and small mistakes have been fixed over more than 40 printings in the U.S. This is the first major overhaul, but not for the reason you expect. Things have changed dramatically since April 2007. Banks are failing, retirement and pension funds are evaporating, and jobs are being lost at record rates. Now, keep in mind, he's saying since April 2007, there was a financial crash around 2008. And so, you got to keep in perspective. So jobs are being lost at record rates. Readers and skeptics alike have asked, can the principles and techniques in the book really still work in an economic recession or depression? Yes. And yes.
And yes.
In fact, questions I posed during pre-crash lectures, including, how would your priorities and decisions change if you could never retire? Seriously, how would your priorities and decisions change if you could actually never retire? So those questions are hypothetical. Millions of people have seen their savings portfolios fall 40% or more in value and are now looking for options C and D. I mean, they had a plan A, they had a plan B. They both didn't work. They're looking out for some other options. Can they redistribute retirement throughout life to make it more affordable? Think about it. Can you redistribute retirement throughout your entire life? When you're younger, can you do things that are only like things that people do when you're retired? Can they relocate a few months per year to a place like Costa Rica, Thailand, or Bali? Hello, Candace Benson. To multiply the lifestyle output for their decreased savings? Sell their services to companies in the UK to earn in a stronger currency? The answer to all of them is more than ever yes. Think about it, guys. Just read this stuff. Did you ever think about these ideas? This stuff is amazing. This is literally life-changing. If you just think about these things, get yourself out of the box thinking, we can make a big difference in our lives.
I don't want to look destroy your point, but yes, I did think about what if, when I did the 9 to 5, I was always thinking okay, if I'm getting about $1,400 a month, I cannot live with that in America, so I might need to move somewhere else. So,
but the question is, how can you continue making that amount of money and live somewhere else, and where it's that will last you 5 months,
That is true. That's true.
And check this out. Go, bro. I have to tell you, right after we finish this Zoom, I have to share with you some breaking news. So you're going to love it. It's all thanks to this book. So the answer to all of these is yes, yes, yes. The concept of lifestyle design as a replacement for multi-stage career planning is sound. It's more flexible and allows you to test different lifestyles without committing to a 10 or 20-year retirement plan that can fail due to market fluctuations outside of your control. People are open to exploring alternatives and more forgiving of others who do the same. As many of the other options, the once safe options have failed. People are open to exploring alternatives. As many of the other options, the once safe options have failed. Yeah. So the old way, where here I was going to tell you probably, when everything and everyone is failing, what is the cost of a little experimentation outside the norm? Most often, nothing. Flash forward to 2011. Is a job interviewer asking about is there a job interviewer asking usually about that unusual gap year? Maybe he is. What you can say? Everyone was getting laid off, and I had a once in a lifetime chance to travel around the world. It was incredible. If anything, they'll ask you how to do the same. The scripts in this book still work. Facebook and LinkedIn launched in the post-2000.com depression. Other recession-born babies include Monopoly, Apple, Cliff Bar, Scrabble, KFC, Domino's Pizza, FedEx, and Microsoft. This is no coincidence. This economic downturn produced discounted infrastructure and outstanding freelancers at bargain prices, and rock-bottom advertising deals, all impossible when everyone is optimistic. So what he's saying is he took advantage of the downturn in the economic events. Whether a year-long sabbatical, a new business idea, re-engineering your life within the corporate beast, or dreams you've postponed for someday, there has never been a better time for testing the uncommon. What's the worst that can happen? I love asking that question. I ask myself that question all the time. What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst case scenario? And if it's something I can live with, I'm going to go for it, guys. I will go. What's a little jail time? I mean, hey, I'm just kidding.
That's right. Yeah, that's true, bro. That's true. I mean, like, I always question myself, like, I see a lot of people, like, they're not jumping on opportunities
because they don't think outside the box.
Yes, they don't think outside of the box, and you'd be frustrated. Like, for example, about I rent a spot at an office here at the airport where other drivers are sitting in the sun, in the scorching hot sun, and you'd be like, guys, it's only like if we put our money together, it's only going to cost you $5 a day.
Wow.
And just like a small example,
they're probably spending that on gas and polluting the environment.
Thank you.
Exactly.
You hear that, Squan? Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Right now, tell them. Okay.
Thank you.
I encourage you to remember this often neglected question: what's the worst that can happen? As you begin to see the infinite possibilities outside your current comfort zone, let's bust through our comfort zones. This period of collective panic is your big chance to dabble. It's been an honor to share the last 2 years with incredible readers around the world, and I hope you enjoyed this new edition as much as I enjoyed putting it together. I am and will continue to be a humble student of you all. Un abrazo fuerte, Tim Ferriss. I don't actually know what that means. I think I looked it up. I think I looked that up when I was...
Un abrazo fuerte?
Yeah. What is this? Let's see.
It's a translation.
My L key is messed up. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Oh, a big hug. I remember. A big hug to all of you.
No, but you see that he made that review in 2009. That's like in the middle of the crisis.
Yeah.
And like to have that much optimism, and that how much, like, you see the reviews from the other people, and how they are kind of like praising this book. You would be like, at that time, between 2007 2009, that tells you a lot about how life transforming this book is.
Absolutely. Sorry. No problem. Absolutely. Thank you. First and foremost, and by the way, I love reading this stuff with you, Saul. I wish more people would join this because in the live, because it's the more the merrier, really. It's like having your own radio show or something.
Man, I tell you, man, I enjoy this. And, it's momentum, bro. Just you'll see. You'll see.
Absolutely. FAQ, doubters, read this. Is lifestyle designed for you? Chances are good that it is. Here are some of the most common doubts and fears that people have before taking the leap and joining the new rich. Do I have to quit or hate my job? Do I have to be a risk taker? No, on all three accounts. From using Jedi mind tricks to disappear from the office to designing business that finance your lifestyle, there are paths for every comfort level. How does a Fortune 500 employee explore the hidden jewels of China for a month and use technology to cover his tracks? When I read that, I was like, oh man, I want to do that. I gotta find out how they do that, right?
Yeah. Yep.
How do you create a hands-off business that generates $80,000 per month with no management? It's all here. Oh my God. This. Oh wow! I have to share with you after this thing, man. Do I
Okay.
have to be a single 20-something? Not at all. This book is for anyone who is sick of the deferred life plan and wants to live life start large instead of postpone it. Case studies range from a Lamborghini driving 21-year-old to a single mother who traveled the world for 5 months with her 2 children. Hello, Tara Grant. If you're sick of the standard menu of options and prepared to enter a world of infinite options, this book is for you. Do I have to travel? I just want more time. No, it's just one option. The objective is to create freedom of time and place and use both however you want. Do I need to be born rich? No. My parents have never made more than $50,000 a year combined, and I worked since age 14. Sounds a lot like me. Actually, I worked since I was like age 7, and my parents, well, I won't even go into that. There's way smaller than that number. I'm no
Wow, I
Rockefeller.
worked since I was 14 too.
Yeah, I'm no Rockefeller, and you needn't be either. Do I need to be an Ivy League graduate? Nope. Most of the role models in this book didn't go to Harvard or didn't go to the Harvards of the world, and some are dropouts. Actually, I can name a whole bunch of millionaires who are dropouts right now. Top
Yeah,
academic institutions are wonderful, but there are
I'm one.
there are unrecognized benefits to not coming out of one. Grads from top schools are funneled into high-income 80-hour-per-week jobs, and 15 to 30 years of soul-crushing work has been accepted as a default path. I do not want to live that life. How do
Me
I
neither.
know? I've been there and seen the destruction. This book reverses it. That's a strong statement. This book reverses it. Reverses the destruction of the manufacturing of like 80-hour workers. Oh my God. My story and why you need this book.
America.
What?
I said America. I mean, people think that's so American that you work hard, you waste your life away, and that's how it's
Do you
like a
know,
valuable American value.
do you know that Americans work harder, or rather, they work longer than like pretty much any other country? And
Right. And it's not like even hard work, it's just time wasting work,
time
you know?
wasted work, and we have like the less job satisfaction than a lot of
True.
other countries. Okay, it's amazing.
Right.
You should do some research, you guys. Open your minds and look and see what's out there. Like seriously, there's a better way to live. Whenever you find yourself on the side of the majority, it is time to pause and reflect. Mark Twain. Am I doing am I doing it all the same way as everyone else because that's just the way things are done? Or did I make a conscious decision to make my life that way? Anyone who lives within their means suffers from a lack of imagination. Oscar Wilde, Irish dramatist and novelist. My hands were sweating again, staring down at the floor to avoid the blinding ceiling lights. I was supposedly one of the best in the world, but it just didn't register. My partner, Alicia, shifted from foot to foot as we stood in line with 9 other couples. Now, this guy is talking about, something's happened to him in his life, so let's just go with it. Okay?
Right.
His dancing partner, Alicia, shifted from foot to foot as we stood in line with 9 other couples, all chosen from over 1,000 competitors from 29 countries and 4 continents. It was the last day of the Tango World Championship semifinals, and this was our final run in front of the judges, television, cameras, and cheering crowds. The other couples had an average of 15 years together. For us, it was the culmination of 5 months of nonstop 6-hour practices, and finally, it was showtime. How are you doing, Alicia? How are you doing? Alicia, a seasoned professional dancer, asked me in her distinctly Argentine Spanish. Fantastic. Awesome. Let's just enjoy the music. Forget the crowd. They're not even here. That wasn't entirely true. It was hard to even fathom 50,000 spectators and coordinators in La Rural, even if it was the biggest exhibition hall in Buenos Aires. Through the thick haze of the cigarette smoke, you could barely make out the huge undulating mass of the stands, and everywhere there was exposed floor, except the sacred 30 foot by 40 foot space in the middle of it all. I adjusted my pinstriped suit and fussed with my blue silk handkerchief until it was obvious that I was just fidgeting. Are you nervous? I'm not nervous. I'm excited. I'm just going to have fun and let the results flow. Let the rest follow. Number 152, you're up. Our chaperone had done his job, and now it was our turn. I whispered an inside joke to Alicia as we stepped on the hardwood platform. Tranquilo. I don't know how to pronounce it. Tranquilo.
Tranquilo, like calm down.
Oh, tranquilo. Take it easy.
Yeah, I know some Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, tranquilo. Take it easy, she laughed. And at that moment, I thought to myself, what on earth could I be doing right now if I hadn't left my job in the U.S. over a year ago? The thought vanished as quickly as it had appeared when the announcer came over the loudspeaker and the crowd erupted to match him. Pereira numero 152. Timothy Ferriss y Alicia Monti.
Ciudad de Buenos Aires.
You were on, and I was beaming. Hang on 1 second.
All right.
Yep. Okay. I was beaming. The most fundamental of American questions is hard for me to answer these days, and luckily so. If I weren't, you wouldn't be holding this book in your hands. So, what do? Assuming you can find me, hard to do, and depending on when you ask me, I prefer you didn't. I could be racing motorcycles in Europe, scuba diving off of a private island in Panama, resting under a palm tree between kickboxing sessions in Thailand, or dancing tango in Buenos Aires. The beauty is, I'm not a multimillionaire, nor do I particularly care to be. At least he wasn't when he wrote this part. I believe he probably is now. I never enjoyed answering this cocktail question because it reflects an epidemic I was long part of. Job descriptions is self-description. If someone asks me now and is anything but absolutely sincere, I explain my lifestyle of a mere serious means simply, I'm a drug dealer. And this is funny because he says it like that, and you're like, what is he a drug dealer? And so now you're going to have to figure out what does he really mean, you know?
Right.
That makes you want to read more of the book. Pretty much a conversation ender. But for us readers, like, oh man, I want to read this. Is he a really drug dealer? No way. Check this out though. It's only half true. Besides, the whole truth would take too long. How can I possibly explain that what I do with my time and what I do for money are completely different things?
Wow.
That I work less than 4 hours per week and make more per month than I used to make in a year. What? Mind blown.
I need that in my life.
Yeah. For the first time, I'm going to tell you the real story. It involves a quiet subculture of people called the new rich. What does an igloo-dwelling millionaire do that a cubicle dweller doesn't?
Brandon Odom.
Yeah. Follow an uncommon set of rules. How does a lifelong blue-chip employee escape to travel the world for a month without his boss even noticing? He uses technology to hide the fact. I want to know how to do that.
You could do that. All right.
Yeah. Gold is getting old. The new rich are those who abandon the deferred life plan and create luxury lifestyles. They abandon the deferred life plan and create luxury lifestyles in the present using the currency of the new rich, time and mobility. Time and mobility. Seriously, that's what I want. This is an art and a science we will refer to as lifestyle design, LD. I'm already super excited to read the rest of this book.
Right.
Are you excited?
I am, man.
All right.
I'm pumped.
Awesome. I have spent the last 3 years traveling among those who live in worlds currently beyond your imagination. Rather than hating reality, I'll show you how to bend it to your will. Matrix. It's easier than it sounds. My journey from grossly overworked and severely underpaid office worker to member of the new rich is at once stranger than fiction. And now that I've deciphered the code, simple to duplicate. There is a recipe. Life doesn't have to be so darn hard. It really doesn't. Most people, my past self included, have spent too much time convincing themselves that life has to be hard. A resignation to the 9-to-5 drudgery in exchange for sometimes relaxing weekends and the occasional keep it short or get fired vacation. The truth, at least the truth I live and will share in this book, is quite different. From leveraging currency differences to outsourcing your life and disappearing, I'll show you how a small underground uses economic sleight of hand to do what most consider impossible. Bro, oh my God. If you've picked up this book, chances are you don't want to sit behind a desk until you're 62. Whether your dream is escaping the rat race, real-life fantasy travel, long-term wandering, setting world records, or simply a dramatic career change, this book will give you all the tools you need to make it a reality in the here and now instead of in the often elusive retirement. There is a way to get the rewards for a life of hard work without waiting until the end of your life. How? It begins with a simple distinction most people miss, one I missed for 25 years. People don't want to be millionaires. They don't want to be millionaires. They want to experience what they believe only millions can buy. Ski
Right.
chalets, butlers, and exotic travel often enter the picture. Perhaps rubbing cocoa butter on your belly in a hammock while you listen to waves rhythmically lapping against the deck of your thatched roof bungalow. Sounds nice. $1 million in the bank isn't a fantasy. The fantasy is the lifestyle of complete freedom it supposedly allows. The question is then, how can one achieve the millionaire lifestyle of complete freedom without first having $1 million? In the last 5 years, I have answered this question for myself, and this book will answer it for you. I will show you exactly how I have separated income from time and created my ideal lifestyle in the process, traveling the world and enjoying the best this planet has to offer. How on earth did I go from 14-hour days and $40,000 per year to 4-hour weeks and 40,000 plus per month? It helps to know where it all started. Strangely enough, it was in a class of soon-to-be investment bankers. Oh my God, I'm super excited. In 2002, I was asked by Ed Xiao, Uber mentor, and my former professor of high-tech entrepreneurship at Princeton University to come back and speak to the same class about my business adventures in the real world. I was stuck. There were already decamillionaires speaking to the same class. And even though I had built a highly profitable sports supplement company, I marched to a distinctly different drummer. Over the ensuing days, however, I realized that everyone seemed to be discussing how to build large and successful companies, sell out, and live the good life. Fair enough. The question no one really seemed to be asking or answering was, why do it all in the first place? What is the pot of gold that justifies spending the best years of your life hoping for happiness in the last? What is that pot of gold that justifies spending the best years of your life hoping for happiness in the last? Spending the best years of your life hoping for happiness in the last? What? Why would we even do that? The lectures I ultimately developed, titled Drug Dealing for Fun and Profit, began with a simple premise. Test the most basic assumptions of the work-life equation. How do your decisions change if retirement isn't an option? What if you could use a mini retirement to sample your deferred life plan reward before working 40 years for it? Is it really necessary to work like a slave to live like a millionaire? Let's think of it for a second. What if you could use a mini retirement every year to sample your deferred life plan reward before working 40 years for it? So you mean I don't have to wait until I'm 65 before I can actually start to experience retirement?
Right. I was just talking to my friend, and I was like, you know what? I had that like in my subconscious. It's like, why do I have to wait? Like, for example, like she was telling me about, you know, a cruise, right?
Uh-huh.
That I want to surprise my son with, and
Awesome.
you know, and yeah, and while talking, actually, I kind of thought of having that surprise for him, and I was like, I gotta make this money in this certain amount. I'm like, no, just plan it, just do it, and then the money will appear for it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. That's true.
Yes,
By the
sir.
way, man,
So
if anybody watching this is interested, I have a whole bunch of vacations that I bought, like from some vacation company, and I don't even have enough time to use them all. So if you are interested, I will be willing to sell them to you.
please, please, please.
Okay,
All
we'll talk
right.
about it after.
And in this, the last question is amazing. Like, is it really necessary to work like a slave to live like a millionaire? It's like
Seriously,
an oxymoron, man.
we were working like slaves, going to this office and working with people we don't necessarily like, doing things that we don't necessarily choose
Yeah.
for
You
ourselves.
see, like
What is that really
yeah,
about? That's
like a
slavery.
wise person.
Mm.
Right, like a wise person once said, is a good answer. It depends on a good question, or a
Exactly.
good question is a good answer. You know what I'm saying? It's
Or
like,
even better, like only so it says.
I mean, I can use like almost on every paragraph. I can use that in my post,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
engagement post. You know what I'm saying?
Check this out.
Like,
Smart,
yeah,
smart people have good ideas, but geniuses have great questions.
right.
Little did I know where questions like these would take me. The uncommon conclusion: the common sense rules of the real world are a fragile collection of socially reinforced illusions. This book will teach you how to see and seize the options others do not. What makes this book different? First, I'm not going to spend much time on the problem. I'm going to assume you're suffering from time famine, creeping dread, or worst case, a tolerable and comfortable existence doing something unfulfilling. The last is most common and most insidious. Second, this book is not about saving and will not recommend you abandon your daily glass of red wine for $1 million 50 years from now. I'd rather have the wine, according to him. I wouldn't ask you to choose between enjoyment today or money later. What he's saying is, don't bother wasting your time saving all your money so that you can quote enjoy it when you're like old and decrepit. You can have both now. The goal is fun and profit. Third, this book is not about finding your dream job. I will take it as a given that for most people, somewhere between 6 and 7 billion of them, the perfect job is the one that takes the least time. I mean, do people really work because they want to work so bad, like they love their career? You might fool yourself into believing that, but really, is there nothing you'd more rather be doing than sitting there under doing that job?
Right.
If you could do anything in the world, if you could do anything in the world at all, whether it means going like on a trip to the moon, which by the way, you can pay for that now. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, you can literally do. Yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you'd rather be doing, like scuba diving or going like crazy stuff, like think about it. What would you rather be doing than sitting behind a desk or wherever you work, 9 to 5 or whatever your hours, maybe even worse than that, away from your family, away from people you love, not doing the stuff that you love. I mean, seriously. So what would you rather do? So the vast majority of people will never find a job that can be an unending source of fulfillment. So that's not the goal here. To free time and automate income is the goal. I open each class with an explanation of the singular importance of being a deal maker. The manifesto of the deal maker is simple. Reality is negotiable. Outside of science and law, all rules can be broken or bent or whatever. It doesn't require being unethical. The deal of deal making is also an acronym for the process of being a member of the new rich. Do you remember DEAL? D is for defining. Let's go back up to the top.
That's okay. Go ahead. Yeah, let's look it up. I know NR is new rich.
E is for elimination. No. A is for automation, and L is for liberation.
Right. Yeah, go up to it.
The steps and strategies can be used with incredible results. Whether you are an employee or an entrepreneur, can you do everything I've done with a boss? No. Can you use the same principles to double your income, cut your hours in half, or at least double the usual vacation time? Most definitely. Wow. Can you use the same principles to double your income, cut your hours in half, or at least double the usual vacation time? Most definitely.
Wow.
Here is this. I'm hooked. Here is the step-by-step process you'll use to reinvent yourself. D is for definition. I'm not even going to go through all these right now. I'm going to leave this. I think it's a great place to stop right now. And if you're watching this right now, stay tuned, because next Monday we're going to start going through the rest of it. As a matter of fact, if I were you, and I'm not even going to stop here. I'm going to continue.
Man, it's like we did 49 minutes. It's like
I'm going to continue reading this book. Like I after we finish this episode and I cut it off and I put it up to YouTube, you guys, I cannot put this book down. But I'm gonna remember that we stopped right here where we just started going into the details of the DEAL.
Right.
Because this is really something else. Okay.
Awesome.
Well, look, I only have a few minutes before I have to head out to go to Isha, so I'm gonna stop the recording, and then I'm gonna tell you about my awesome breakthrough strategy. Okay. And I'm going to talk to you guys next Monday. Stay tuned. Jump on the YouTube channel. Jump on the Entrepreneurs Workshop. And make sure you connect with me. Let me know what you're trying to get out of Entrepreneurs Workshop, so I will approve your request of membership.
Thank you for tuning in, guys. Ahmed is an awesome guy.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it. You too, bro. Assalamu alaikum.